What's up, guys? It's Chad Schleiger. Just a couple announcements for you guys. We're going to be uploading all of our videos over on the Wellness Point YouTube page for now, just because Facebook has this thing where if you keep posting stuff over time, it just kind of gets rid of the old stuff. So just so you guys have access to it, go over to the YouTube page and you can subscribe to the Wellness Point. You'll see it's got a big orange circle on that page, and it's Point with an E, P-O-I-N-T-E, Wellness Point. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about money. So I know this is going to make some people's hair on their back stand up, especially if you're in the church and you're religious. Money is the root of all what? You know, growing up when I was a kid, I was, whether I was growing up in a certain place, a location, maybe I was part of a demographic, or even when I got older and I became part of a denomination, it seemed as though that they said that money was the root of all evil, that a penny earned is a penny saved, that rich people are thieves, that you need to tax the wealthy to give to the poor because that'll fix the problem, that in order for people that have money, they have to take from the poor, and the wealthy, they're just full of greed. And this scarcity mentality that is taught, that it's better to give than it is to receive. And don't get me wrong, it's great to give, and it definitely is better to give than it is to receive. But at the end of every giving, there's always somebody that's receiving, which I think we kind of forget about. And so when I grew up, I was taught this. Taught this mentality through school, through high school, through undergrad, and even through grad school. When I had graduated as a doctor, there was practice management companies that would scare us into thinking that 50% of chiropractors don't make it within their first year. They have to go and start an associate with a doc and work for somebody else, or they open up their practice, 50% of them fail, and now they're doing a job currently that they don't even have to be a doctor to do. And the other 50% that make ends meet at work, they struggle at home trying to pay the bills, and really only the top 5 to 10% really make it big. So with that, they scare you with tons of debt, and with that mentality, you have a tendency in the scarcity mentality to hoard onto things. And what we're taught in the church, or what we're taught, is that we're not to be mastered by money, and that mentality actually causes us to get mastered by money, where we have to wait until Friday in order to do it because that's when we get paid. Or that sounds like a great idea, but I can't afford it right now until I get that pay raise. Or, gosh, I really wish we could do that, but I'm only making minimum wage right now. And that scarcity mentality, hoarding, you know, I don't know if you guys remember this parable in the Bible where it talks about the farmer, where he's got grain and corn, and he builds bigger and bigger silos to stuff all of his corn away because he was afraid he was going to lose it. And God's like, you fool, you're going to die tomorrow. And you've got all these riches and all these things, and you kept it to yourself, and you didn't give it away. So when I decided to switch over to my abundant mindset, and some people will say, well, it's easy for you to say because you're lucky, and look at all the things that you have. And I'm not lucky. I didn't have these things growing up, and I don't have them because I switched my abundant mindset after I got them. I switched my mindset before I got them, and that's why I have the things that I have and why I have the freedom, that I do. So when I did that, now remember, there's no amount of money in the bank account that's going to change your heart about what's in the bank account. So what you have to realize is that money, no matter how much you have in your bank account, all it is green ink on paper. All it is potential to exchange for value. And when you view money as potential, it no longer becomes good or evil. It's your intention of what you do with it that's good or evil. How do you think that we get schools over in a third world country without money? How do you think we send an optometrician over to Africa to help kids that are blind and can't see? They get their first set of glasses, and now they can see the world for the first time. How do you think a chiropractor can hang a box on the wall and give his services away for families, friends and families that can't pay $35 per adjustment per person to the family per week? How do you think we do that without money? How do you think we send a missionary over to another country? You think he just gets there by free? Of course not. It's money that does that. Money is the root of all good. Anything that good that happens into the world, when we ship supplies over to Houston, it takes money to do that. So when we switch our mindset about money, and literally that it's just potential, and all we're doing that is in exchange to get value, and our intention of that money, when I exchange it, I know it's going to somebody else that's good, that has good intention, and they can exchange that to create more good. Money becomes a good thing and not an evil thing. So if I had a book, if I sat down and wrote a book, and I valued the book at $20, and I gave my book away for $20, somebody else would exchange $20, give to me, because I value that book. The reason I received the $20 is because I value my book as slightly less than $20, which is why I received the $20 for it. And the person that buys it from me values my book at more than $20, which is why they give me that $20 of exchange. And when it comes to salesmen, if you've got a product, a service, or an idea and you're trying to sell it, like if you're like a realtor, for instance, and some people have like this, when you hear the word salesman, you're like, I don't want to be a salesman. There's like this, I had those people show up at my door trying to sell me something. They tried to sell me an $1,800 vacuum cleaner back in the 80s, and I just couldn't afford it, and they kept showing up. So they for some reason just got like a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to a salesman. But we're all salesmen, believe it or not. We're always trying to sell our ideas or our products or our service to anybody else. So when it comes to somebody that's trying to sell a house, that person deserves to get compensated via a 6%, 7% commission, whatever they get paid, because somebody else values that house that they want to raise their family in, and that person that delivers that value to that family deserves to get compensated with money. If you own a car dealership, or maybe you're just a car salesman, and you see a family coming down the road in a busted up car that isn't safe for their kids, and you're like, hey, come in here and I'm going to sell you this car in exchange for value for a better car that can protect your family, that car salesman deserves to get that value in return with money. If you're like me and you're a doctor or you have some type of service, one of my care plans for one person in the family is a little over $1,200 for 3 months, and which is a spit in the ocean for the amount that you'll pay if you just spend the night in the hospital, or if you head over to the dentist and you got a couple cavities and they shoot your face full of radiation and they put a bunch of mercury in your mouth. It's a spit in the ocean, compared to that. And the value that I'm giving, my knowledge, my wisdom, my understanding of how the body is designed to heal, and recognizing those blind spots for you so that you don't have to live with them, and you're able to create that fairy tale ending 10, 20, 30 years from now, that you can do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it with. And you're not like 5 out of 6 Americans that get stuck with sick debt or issues. You can avoid all of that. What's that initial investment worth? Right? $1,200 is nothing. If you're in a business such as network marketing, and you see people that struggle financially, and there's more month at the end of the money, like they don't have enough money to get through the end of the month, their family needs food, they still need to pay rent, and they got to put things on the credit card just to make ends meet, and you're like, oh my gosh, they wake up every morning and hit the snooze button 12 times because they hate their job going to it. They don't feel fulfilled when they're there. 80% of Americans don't feel fulfilled at their job, and their self-worth and their self-value starts to go down because they're not living their full expression, and they're starting to get depressed. And you have a solution to that problem. And what do people with a scarcity mentality say? I can't afford that. I have to wait till I get my pay raise. I have to wait until Friday, right, to do it. And there's no amount of money in the bank account, and there's nothing that's going to change your mindset until you get to the point where you want to change your way of thinking and realize that there is a better way to create financial and time freedom, and those people have the answer for you. So before we kind of close this off, I just want to share something with you guys. I don't know if anybody knows this, but every year I write a check to my office for my family to go to my office and receive chiropractic care. And it costs, I actually write the check for $5,400. And the reason I do that is you talk to my accountant, or if you talk to anybody that's like a CFO, they'll tell me that I'm an absolute financial idiot because I'm paying tax on my money twice, which I get that. But every night when I come home, I get to lay my head on my bed and feel great with what I'm doing at my office in the Honor Box. I don't have to worry about me being embarrassed or scared to tell people to invest in their most valued asset, which is themselves, because I do it myself. So if you are a car salesman, rather than driving the loaner all around town and you're trying to sell cars with some type of payment plan, buy a car with a payment plan and you'll sell more cars. If you're a chiropractor, pay for your service in your office and you'll serve more people. If you work with food or you're like a registered dietitian, invest in organic food and put it in your cupboards and in your house, and more people that you talk to will eat organic food and get the results that you desire. If you're in network marketing, buy your products and your services and ideas and live them, and you'll enroll more people. It works. If you own a gym and you sign clients up every month and they got to pay $60, $80, $100 for your gym membership, pay for your gym membership and go to your own gym and work out. So the reason I say that is because when you switch your mindset from scarcity into abundance, those finances are not going to roll over there instantly, but slowly over time they will. And the reason that it does that is because when you start investing into yourself and you don't let the money kind of roll away into something else that doesn't increase your value, when you start to increase the value of yourself, you'll be surprised at the amount of income that you'll earn. And you don't have to wait for the pay raise. You don't have to wait for the next year to make an extra $3 an hour. You don't have to wait for a law to get passed for the minimum wage to go up. We're always focused on the minimum wage, even though there is no amount that you can set. The maximum wage for human potential is completely endless. There is no amount that you can set on that. So I appreciate you guys watching this. If you got any value out of it, if it can shift your mindset just a little bit, it probably can do it for somebody else. So click the like and share button, and we'll see you soon. God bless.